Hello everybody and welcome back to more political chatter. In this video we will be talking about a 2024 election matchup between Joe Biden and Vivek Ramaswamy. So Vivek Ramaswamy is an Indian American businessman and entrepreneur who announced his presidential candidacy in the Republican primaries on February 21st, 2023. So not too long ago. He is one of the three major candidates in this race for president. Obviously, his chances are unlikely of winning the nomination against, these big names like Donald Trump or even Nikki Haley is such a bigger name than Vivek Ramaswamy. And then you've got people like Ron DeSantis probably heading in the race, Mike Pence probably heading in. When we look at the whole field, it becomes too crowded. And Vivek Ramaswamy, even though he does stand out, he would have a very hard time. To put it more simply, he would have a very hard time of winning the Republican nomination for president, and it is extremely unlikely. But for the fun of it, let's do an election prediction between Joe Biden and Vivek Ramaswamy. Let's say Vivek, is like Andrew Yang, entrepreneur, nobody knows him, and then he rises up, gains popularity. But let's say he actually does better than Andrew Yang and has an amazing performance in Iowa, and then almost wins New Hampshire, and then he pulls out a shocking win in Nevada, and he's looking good into Super Tuesday, and then whatever, he wins the nomination somehow, even though, of course, that won't happen. Let's just do the scenario. Anyway, because we've been talking about election scenarios for so long, and I used to do them with like absurd Republican candidates just because I needed something to do. So now that we actually have candidates in the race, let's do this thing. And I will be doing one for Perry Johnson also. Maybe Corey Stapleton. I don't think I will for Steve Laffey or Roland Roberts, the other two in the race. So as usual, let's get started with safe Democratic states. So a safe state will be decided by more than 15%. So we really know how these are going to go. California, Hawaii, Washington, Oregon might be likely, might be safe. I'm thinking it's going to be likely. D.C., Maryland, Delaware, New York, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Vermont, and Maine's 1st District would all be safe. That's going to be it. Colorado could be, but against Vivek, I don't think so. Against a more Trump, a more Trump-like Republican, I think that it would be safe. More conservative Republican, but Vivek, especially on economic issues, I don't think at least he is too far right. I know on social issues, his campaign is like against wokeness. He wrote the book Woke Incorporation. So Colorado, I will put safe actually because then again they probably do care about social issues just as much as economic issues. Now let's get into safe Vivek states: Utah, Wyoming, Idaho, Montana. He would win a lot of DeSantis primary voters, I'll just say that much. South Dakota, North Dakota, those two districts: Kansas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Arkansas, Missouri, Indiana, West Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama. South Carolina could be safe, if we're being totally honest. I don't think that Vivek would be too weak of a candidate, but we will see how he will do. But I don't think he would be the greatest. He is young. He brings in a lot of new voters to the party. At least, I think at least. Maybe not, though. Biden would, if Vivek is trying to get the youth vote, Biden would hit him hard with everything he says about social issues. So, South Carolina won't quite be safe, but it would be close to being safe, I will say that much. So now we have likely state. Well, before we go into likely states, Joe Biden stands at 143 electoral votes, Vivek Ramaswamy at 113. You need 270 to win, so Biden has a narrow advantage at this point. So now let's get into likely states. So Oregon, I'll just start off with the very Democratic states that would almost be safe but not quite: Oregon, New Jersey, Connecticut. These are three states that are very Democratic, but in 2024, I don't think that these would be with Biden quite by 5% or 15%. More likely Biden states, Virginia would be one. I don't think that Vivek would perform very well in Virginia. I mean, I'm not really sure what to say, but it has been trending to the left quite a bit lately, especially after Trump. He really made voters much more partisan and not in his favor, in the Democrats' favor. So I think that that's a likely Biden state, and it is for years to come. I was talking about very Democratic states that would be likely. I said Oregon, Connecticut, and New Jersey. I forgot one. That would be Illinois. I don't think I need to talk about that one too much, but J.B. Pritzker, in 2022, the gubernatorial candidate, incumbent running for re-election, he poured tons of money into this race, and it was still not even a safe margin. So I would put that at likely at this point in time. The last likely Biden state would be, two more. One would be the state of New Mexico. It is a Democratic state. The Democratic governor, Michelle Lujan Grisham, won re-election in 2022 by a likely margin, even against a very strong candidate, probably stronger than Vivek Ramaswamy. So I think that New Mexico would be likely. A pretty good margin for Biden there. I don't think that Ramaswamy really has anything in New Mexico. And then, we actually have two more. I lied. Maine at large. I don't think I need to talk about this one at all. Maine, it'll stay where it is. And then Minnesota, state that went to Biden by 7%. I don't feel, Vivek's campaign focus would be around the Rust Belt, as he is from Ohio, and he really would connect with those blue-collar workers. At least that is what he would aim for, are those blue-collar workers. That's probably why he's running for president. I'm sure that's what he would base his campaign around once we get into the general election. Minnesota, I don't think would be quite there. We'll get to all the others, but I think that one would stay likely with the Dems. And then we have New Hampshire. Sorry, nope. Did not mean to do that. And that's it for likely Democratic states. So now, likely Vivek states. Alaska, he would do fine in Alaska, but it is trending left. We do have to remember that. Texas really isn't going anywhere. Vivek would honestly be a good candidate for Texas. I feel like there are a lot of Indian American politicians in Texas. Is that just me? Or do other people think that? I'm not sure. Vivek would win Texas by a likely margin. I'm sure of it. South Carolina, very Republican state. As I said, almost, right there, on the border of being safe, but not quite. Florida, at the end of the day, we have to, for the vast majority of these Republicans, we have to give it to them by a likely margin. I would just feel dumb not, given Ron DeSantis winning by 19, Marco Rubio winning by 16, just last year in 2022. Even though Vivek obviously wouldn't do as well as Rubio or DeSantis, he would do fine. He would outperform Trump by at least 2, saying how Rubio outperformed him by 13, DeSantis outperformed him by 16. So I think it would only be fair for Florida to go to Vivek by a likely margin. Then we have Iowa and Ohio, two working class, blue collar, Rust Belt states. And as I said, he would center his campaign around the Rust Belt. By the way, I forgot to say likely states are states that will be decided by 5 to 15%. Maybe I said that, maybe not, but it was good to be safe regardless. So Iowa and Ohio would be in Vivek's column. He's from Ohio. This one he would outperform Trump, right? Even though Trump does have that Trump appeal, it would still he would still outperform him, or at least match him. He wouldn't underperform Trump. He would underperform him a little bit in Iowa, but not enough to even make it lean. I think that one is staying with the Republicans by a likely margin at this point. And that would be it. Biden hangs on to his lead by only 3 electoral votes. Biden is put at 221. Vivek Ramaswamy has 218. Now let's get into lean states. So these states are pretty close. These states will be decided by 1 to 5%. So let's get started with the Democrats, of course. New Hampshire is interesting because New Hampshire voters are so independent-minded, and honestly, I think that it will be a tilt state, and I won't call it at this time. Michigan is a state I don't think Vivek would do that well in. Sure, he would probably outperform 2020 Trump across the Rust Belt, and I think he would in Michigan. But I do think that that Michigan is a Democratic state, and that we have to keep that in mind. And at this point, I don't see it going or really even being all that competitive in 2024. Especially saying that Vivek is not, we can't treat this guy as a strong candidate. Sure, he might be different, but, in Marianne Williamson's case, her different is a good different. That is an electable different. In Vivek's, I'm not quite sure about, him being an outsider, everything like that, how much that really helps him. Michigan, I'm keeping lean Democrat at this point. Any more lean Democratic states? This is a tough election prediction. Georgia, I'm going to put lean Democratic. Of course, it is shifting left, day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year. But Vivek, I don't think he would turn out those Southern conservatives like Ron DeSantis would, like Donald Trump would. I don't think he would. Or even as someone like Nikki Haley would, or Mike Pompeo would. He would not focus his campaign on the traditional American and economic values like the South would, like a candidate trying to win Southern states like Florida, Georgia, and North Carolina would. He wouldn't appeal to really the Hispanic population. That has to be talked about in Florida. He wouldn't appeal to that Hispanic population that elected Trump in 2020, caused Florida to go to Trump in Miami-Dade County. Trump worked hard to get those voters. I don't see Vivek really connecting with those. And same goes for Georgia. I don't think that he would be able to turn out that white conservative vote like Donald Trump was able to do, or like Ron DeSantis would be able to do in 2024. So Georgia, I've gone to Biden by a lean margin. Let's see. Nevada will be close. I'm not sure about Nevada. Nebraska's second. Shifts to the right a point or two. And that would be it. Yeah. I mean, Nevada, I'm really unsure of even who it would go to, but I guess the Democrats. But definitely won't be that. So we are done with lean states. So, oh no, sorry. We still have lean Republican states. I didn't even realize that. Sorry, my bad. Main second is lean Vivek. They like outsiders. I don't feel that he would have particularly the amount of appeal that Trump had. But they would still like him. The voters wanting an outsider. They would still enjoy Vivek, and I think that he would be able to carry it by a lean margin. What else do we have? Wisconsin, Pennsylvania. Alright, on to tilt states. So amazingly, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tilt states. That is absurd. Joe Biden stands at 253 electoral votes. Vivek Ramaswamy at 219. Joe Biden is better positioned to win the presidency. He could win Arizona, North Carolina, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and he would win just one of those. Or he could win Nevada and New Hampshire. Well, you get the idea. Vivek would have to win almost all of these states. He would have to win Arizona, North Carolina, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania, and either New Hampshire or Nevada. He would only be able to miss Nevada or New Hampshire. All right, I don't know if that made sense. Sorry. Guess I can't be a CNN map guy on election night. That's my dream job. Wow, how fun would that be? Anyway, why is this video so long? Oh my god. So let's get into tilt states. So these states will be really close, decided by less than 1% in my predictions. And it's insane that we have these many because I'm very practical with my predictions. And I know that a lot of people make way too many tilt states. And I try not to. But these states I honestly think would be so close. Let's start off with Vivek. In North Carolina, I think that is a tilt state. Sorry, Virginia likely blue. But North Carolina, I think, could very well go to Joe Biden. And I already did my reasoning, for Florida and Georgia. I don't think that Vivek would do quite as well as Trump did. I don't think that he would appeal to those rural, southern, white voters, especially white males. I don't think that he would have that appeal that Trump had or Ron DeSantis would have. North Carolina would be pretty close, very close. That goes tilt for Vivek Ramaswamy. Arizona, I think, would flip back to the Republican Party. I think that Vivek Ramaswamy wins the state of Arizona. Really, all you need in Arizona is a center-right Republican, or at least not even center-right, one that is not doesn't say absurd things or insult the dead senior senator from the state, John McCain. You just can't have someone like that. Vivek would easily take back those voters who voted Republican their whole lives, the McCain Republicans, but who voted for Biden in 2020, and that's the reason the state went to him. But Vivek would bring them back. I think that Arizona would flip back to him. That's a pickup for Vivek. Where do we go next? Wisconsin, I think that Vivek would be able to carry, and this election becomes a lot more closer. Oh, wait, my math was wrong when I was doing the everything. Sorry. Never mind. So, Vivek, I think, would win the state of Wisconsin. He would, of course, like I said, focus his campaign around the Rust Belt. Do I think he would be very successful? No, I do not. And I think that he should be able, that he should try to get places like Georgia and the Sun Belt, Arizona, Nevada. I think that is where you should focus, honestly, more than the Rust Belt. But still, well, I guess not. You got to get the Rust Belt. So Wisconsin, I think that Vivek would run a good enough campaign. Essentially, I think that he would take back those white working class voters that Trump did in 2016, Biden did in 2020. I think that they would flip back to the GOP. I think that Vivek wins Wisconsin's 10 electoral votes, and with that, Vivek takes the lead. Let me give Biden some states. New Hampshire, I think, would go to Joe Biden by a tilt margin. This would be a huge shift to the right. And it's not that New Hampshire is trending to the right, but I think that Vivek would be a phenomenal candidate for New Hampshire. Talking about issues like the fentanyl crisis. I think that Vivek would definitely do that, and especially when he talks about social issues like wokeness in America, I think that would honestly resonate with a lot of New Hampshire independents and Republicans and maybe some moderate Democrats. Because they are independent-minded. A lot of them are on the older side in terms of age. And I think that Vivek would really resonate with them. Would it be enough? No. But I think that it would be exceptionally close. I really think so, and that could be a sleeper state when we're talking about Biden versus Vivek 2024. Nevada's tough, as I said, but I would say that Biden wins, just because Catherine Cortez Masto somehow hung on in 2022, despite all odds. But say what you want about this one. I'm really unsure about Nevada, but I don't really think it changes who wins. And like many, many, many of my election predictions, it all comes down to the state of Pennsylvania. Who do I think would win the state of Pennsylvania? Vivek wins it. He wins the election. Biden wins it. He wins the election. I'm giving it to Biden. I don't think that Vivek would be able to resonate with the suburban vote, essentially outside Philadelphia, wherever it's outside of, or if especially parents. I don't think that he would really do well with them. Um, what can I say? Pennsylvania is a very tough state, but the issues that Vivek would focus his campaign around, um, more on social issues. I think that he should be talking about economic issues in the Rust Belt, essentially, since he is an entrepreneur. That's the thing he should run his campaign on. But I don't think he will. I think he would make it about things that more so people care about less, at least in the state of Pennsylvania. I don't think that he would win, unfortunately. So, thank you all for watching this video. I think that Joe Biden would win with 282 electoral votes, but very, very close. But yeah, as I said, thanks for watching. I hope to see you all next time. Again, thank you so much.